Hey everyone, I'm Kelly Meade here at Kingdom Bound, Darien Lake in New York, and I'm so excited to be joined by integrity music artist Mitch Wong. How are you, Mitch?
I'm really, really warm. It is a hot day and it's really sweaty, but I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
It is pretty warm out here, but it's awesome to have you here and participating in the new Integrity Music Worship Tent. So awesome to have them here this year.
It's amazing. What a great idea.
Yeah. So I always love hearing a little bit about what inspires songwriters and how they their songwriting process. So can you share a little bit about where you get your inspiration from when you sit down to write?
Yeah, good question. I think more and more I've been inspired actually by nature, just like getting out, having a walk. I think sometimes being in a room and being inside kind of cramps me creatively. So I've been trying more and more to get out and just maybe walk beside a lake or have a walk with my wife. We recently went to Italy for vacation, and that kind of revolutionized my life because they're so good at engaging with the present and they're very creative with their food. Their food is amazing. Their art is amazing. And what I noticed was they all have gardens. So when we got back from Italy, I actually got all of these herb planters and put them on my balcony, and we're growing herbs. But I think just doing things outside of the box and outside has helped me be inspired to write songs.
Yeah, for sure. Nature is definitely one of my favorite ways to connect with God and just be surrounded by His creation. And I feel like that kind of leads into your single Bloom as well.
Yes, that's a fantastic segue. Yes.
And so speaking of that, that's on your album, A Beautiful Ending and
A Blessed Beginning.
Yes.
What that title really was all about was, in the Bible, there's so much about sowing and reaping. And the image that I got was we have this seed, and it's so precious to us because it's got the potential of this life. But in order to let that grow, we have to let it go. We have to bury it in the ground. And then after a while, it grows up and it blooms. So the journey of my album was really a journey from burial to bloom, and how even Jesus had to be buried before He was resurrected. And there's so much imagery in the Bible about that. So it was really cool to use nature as an illustration of how God is growing in our lives and how faith is growing and how we're able to branch out of the four walls of the church and spread the gospel and share the gift of Jesus with everyone in our lives.
Yeah, for sure. I worked at a summer camp for several years, and that's where I can really kind of circle back and focus on where my faith really started to grow.
Yep.
And being able to learn how to share my faith more with other people. So like we've been saying, I think nature really contributes to that. So
Yes.
I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So throughout your career, you have been able to collaborate with several fellow artists.
Yes.
Who is someone that you have not yet worked with that you would love to?
Wow. I would love to just meet Martin Smith. I think he's been so inspirational. I've been really inspired by his songs. That would be someone who would be on my bucket list to meet. Yeah.
Very cool. What has been a verse that's been really speaking to your life lately?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think what has been really on my heart lately is it's in Romans 12, I believe, and it's Paul saying, I urge you, brothers and sisters, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice to God, for this is your proper worship. And that's really Paul's definition of what worship is. And I think it's been important to me because as a songwriter and as a singer in the worship space, it's so important to remember that that is not all that worship is. Worship is living a life where you're completely surrendered in your mind, in your body, in your heart, in your soul. It's so much more than singing and writing songs. And I think that's just important for all of us to remember, that when we go to church, it's all worship. We sing songs of worship to God, but saying yes to God to pay for someone's groceries if we felt led to, that's also worship as well. And I think it's important for us to remember that how worship is just all inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely represent our faith and show it by our actions, and that is definitely a way to give back to God.
Yeah.
So you have a few more shows coming up this summer. Is there anything else coming up that you can share about the rest of the year that you're excited about?
Yes, I'm actually going to Queensland
Oh, wow.
in Australia in September. and I'm really excited because there's a conference called Glow Conference, and it's their 10th year anniversary, and I'm going to lead worship with my friend Lindy Kofer, who is amazing. And it's just really exciting, one, to do that, but two, because I get to go back to Australia and see my family again. So it's going to be really nice to just make a trip out of it and enjoy the beach and enjoy seeing family and all of it. It's going to be fun.
So cool. So I hope everyone will go to your website, mitchwongmusic.com, to find out more about you and any upcoming tour dates you have and music news, and to follow along with you on social media to stay connected. Thank you so much for taking the time with us
Kelly,
today.
thanks for having me.